to skate, dance, and talk about sports. She says she's a very nice person. But most men get the wrong first impression. Please welcome Vanessa Brooks. Hi, Vanessa. How are you? Why do you think men get the first wrong impression?
Because I'm very verbal, and men have a hard time accepting a woman who's very verbal and outspoken.
On everything?
On everything.
Very decisive and
most definitely.
aggressive?
You have to be. Sometimes it depends on the situation.
Okay. Is it difficult being a woman? And you run a construction company, right?
That's correct.
Do you own this construction company? Or
I'm
just
a
run
partner.
It? So you, I mean, these
the
guys
boss.
have muscles and steel and that whole shot are running around all the time, and you're running them, huh?
That's very true.
Yeah. Is it tough being a woman and doing that?
Yes, it is. Very difficult.
Why?
Because men in that business have always been accustomed to having men tell them what to do. And they have a hard time accepting the fact that a woman can learn the business and can tell them what to do and can be right.
You said your mouth gets you in trouble. Why is that? How does that happen?
One example that comes to mind very quickly is I set up a date with a guy, and we had decided, or I thought we had decided, to meet at the theater. And so I got there, and I waited, and the guy never showed up. So I got home, and when I did get a hold of him, I really cussed him out.
Well, you nailed him, huh?
And I was in the wrong.
Well, you were supposed to meet someplace else.
Well, he was supposed to come to the house and pick me up.
Oh, I see.
And I misunderstood. So
Never let him have a chance to get his mouth in gear.
No, I got mine.
Okay. Let's take a look at the men that Vanessa had to choose from. Remember, you're going to pick the man that you think's best for her. Here they are. First, it was Leo. He says that most men want a beautiful woman, and most women want security. He claims that women think he's sexy, and here's how he can tell.
I've met a lot of beautiful ladies, and I don't have that much problem meeting beautiful women, you know. Like, you can always tell, like, if I'm on a bus or somewhere and there's a seat there, they will move something so I can sit there, you know.
Okay. Next there was Michael. He's originally from Michigan. He enjoys cooking and horseback riding. He says he's a man with an outstanding personality. Sometimes.
Sometimes I notice I can be selfish, but that's just one of those things. I try to be understanding sometimes, but then sometimes I don't. I guess that's just me.
All right. And finally, you watched Aaron. Aaron likes opera. He's traveled all over the world, but he says he's ready to settle down and have kids. And here's what he has to offer a woman.
Very attractive, handsome black man. Probably in a formal life, a sheik or maybe even Casanova. Very articulate, very intelligent, dresses well, and would make some rich woman a very nice husband.
Now, Vanessa selected one of those men as her date. We're going to show you all three men again before you vote. First, there was Leo. He's 32. He's a musician. Then Michael. He's a disc jockey. He's 30. Finally, Aaron. He's also 30, and he's also a musician. Okay, audience, time for voting machines. Who do you think is the best man for Vanessa? All right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to meet the man that Vanessa selected, hear everything that happened on that date in 2 minutes. Be right back. All right, we're back. Vanessa's going to tell us who she selected. Who did you pick?
I selected Michael Hall.
Michael Hall. All right, he's the disc jockey, right? Vanessa and Michael haven't seen each other since their date. As always, we hear from both sides. Let's say hello to Michael Hall. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Chuck.
How are you?
It's fine.
All right, tell us about the date, Vanessa.
Michael and I had talked several times previous to our actually going out. And so we finally did get a date set up. And we decided to go out on a Sunday at 3 o'clock. And we were going to go horseback riding or to the Indianapolis 500 cars.
Nice.
And, well, one thing led to another. And Michael was late. And we did not get to go to either horseback riding or the cars. And so we ended up going to the beach.
Did Vanessa look any different than you expected, Michael?
Just a little bit. You know, Vanessa has such a sexy voice on the phone. I pictured her as being maybe a little bit taller, a little long hair, something like that.
Okay. Vanessa's laughing.
Because I also had pictured him to be differently, too.
How did you picture him?
A little taller and a little more well-built than he actually
Better work on that body.
What happened next?
Well, we did go to the beach. In the meantime, the ride to the beach was uneventful. We got to the beach and walked the pier, rode the bumper cars. Then we went and had a drink.
Anything happen? I mean, anything eventful with the eating or getting a bite to eat? Or did you have a drink, did you say?
We had a drink.
Yeah.
No, nothing happened.
Eventful there? What were you talking about during this time?
We talked about his work. We talked a bit about my work. Michael didn't appear real interested in getting to know me, so it was hard to hit upon a topic where we could both get to know each other.
Michael, would it be fair to say that Vanessa is different from the women you usually date, or is she kind of like them?
She's a little different in the sense that she's very opinionated, I think. You know, when she has an opinion to say, she states it, and she kind of stays with that.
And you prefer...
I prefer my women to be more mellow and just, you know, very kick-back, laid-back sometimes.
Well, how did the date end?
The date ended with Michael taking me back home, and at the end of the date, after we got into the alcove of my apartment building, he kissed my hand, which was pro for the course, because I got the impression that Michael preferred his women to be less opinionated, less women-liver types. Unfortunately, I'm not that type.
Okay, let's take a look and see what the audience picked for you, Vanessa. Well, they picked Michael at 56%. I have to say here, if you want to take our audience's advice and go out with Michael, we'll be happy to pay for the second date.
I think Michael and I would have to talk about that before we try another date.
Want to talk about it now?
Michael, how do you feel about that?
I think we could try it. I wouldn't mind trying it again.
Fine.
You gonna try it again?
Oh, I'll try anything.
Why, have a fit. What to say? Well, come on out and join us, Michael. Why not? You guys are too funny. It's probably as close as you've been since you've known each other, right? Well, this is too much. You know, a lot of times, you accommodate the other person in order to make life a little easier. You never know, you know, both of you.
Yeah, you know, I think, you know, being it was just the first date and being the fact that I had been a little tired, I wasn't really as conversive as I normally am. And I think she was pretty nice in being able to put up with it and being very polite toward me, so.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Michael was polite in putting up with my opinionated self.
A lot of times it's good to be opinionated, and sometimes it's good to kind of go, okay.
Well, as I said, my mouth sometimes gets me in trouble.
Yeah, okay. Well, listen, you guys have a good time on your second date. We're happy to pay for it, and I hope you enjoy yourself.
I'm sure it's going to be
Thanks for coming on the show. We have a nice gift for you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with our next guest in just a minute. Stay with us.